Glass Barbie, Chapter 2, read by the author, Michael Botur. Do I look like I need backup? The Jovial Jug is a pub that never closes. Good place to go if you've just been paroled and the government haven't sorted out a motel for you to doss down in. I reckon the cleaners never come through. Stinks of ciggies from the smokers section and hot chips, and the floor is sticky. But it smells like home, y'all. Half the place is towers as slot machines crammed together tight as changing room lockers. Waiting for Rich the snitch. I sink a couple of beers and get a little glow going on. The dietary supplement that I took while I was at the bus station is wearing off, and I guess my hungry tummy is making me a lightweight. I get dizzy and I lose $10 on a pokie machine, and I sit on my stool with a grumpy face and I blame my drunkenness on Rich McMullan. Snitchy Richie Little Dick. It's his fault I'm stuck in skanky-ass Whāngarei with $19.30. Not even enough for the 5-hour ride to the Big Smoke, even on the discountedest, shittiest bus you could ask for. It's his fault that I have to come up with some pretty desperate scheme. It's his fault that I've let me pay for beers with a PayWave credit card that ain't technically mine. A card with some kind of Pakistani name on it that I wouldn't be able to pronounce if they asked me. Old Rich might find himself buying the next round. If they even serve him, that is, because there's a Peppa Pig sign on the wall with a red Ghostbusters slash going through Peppa. A lot of the rougher pubs in Northland have got them signs, and those signs mean pigs not welcome. There's harness racing and greyhounds on the TV, but either I've got ADHD or that shit gets real boring real quick. I have a ciggy out in the smoking section, which is just a partly walled off square of the main pub floor, and I watch a little UFC on a TV fixed to the ceiling. I don't want a second ciggy, so I'm twiddling my thumbs. You know, us party people, we get jittery if we haven't had a proper actual smoke, a little pick-me-up. Methamphetamine, bro, if you need it spelled out for you. During the ad break, I read the posters on the walls. There's a reggae band that played 5 months ago, and there are male strippers coming up. There are posters for Jim Beam, posters for Bingo, some craft beer club, adverts for a tattoo show coming up in the Bay Islands. When I run out of posters to eyeball, what I do is I check out the 4 or 5 people in little dark corners of the pub drinking their breakfast. I size up ones I can roll, In my life, I've aggravated, robbed guys built like statues. I've aggrobbed women. I've aggrobbed pussy-ass little exchange students outside of private schools. But there's this one fella in here wearing red, white, and black numbers and letters on his hoodie, and I ain't about to aggrob that fella. Hell no. Them's dangerous colours, son. Like you'd see on a lionfish or a rattlesnake. Gangster colours. See, Mr. Gangbanger, he's missing hair on the crown of his head, and the hair's settled on his top lip and his chin and his throat, not to mention a tattoo of a fucking scorpion. He's wearing high-vis safety gear and thick boots with concrete on the toes like dried-up porridge, but it's unlikely he's been labouring. Dudes that measure their income by thickness of wad instead of numbers, they don't do manual labour, if you know what I mean. Dude's probably a headhunter. He probably rolls drug dealers. The cuff of a long-sleeve cotton shirt sticks out from under the devil-coloured hoodie. I can see a patch saying 1% support crew. I can also see a rectangle patch with strips of the 5 main club colours, yellow, black, red, blue and white. There's only one type of person that can claim they support many different colours. Fuck me sideways. I spin my stool the other way. Best quit eyeballing him if I want to keep my eyes. Senior Constable Richie eventually walks into the pub. It's 8:08 a.m. according to my phone. I think to myself, yep, same old square bastard as always. The 8s in his show-up time are symmetrical. Everything in that cunt's life is symmetrical. Well, except for me, the one crooked part. His distrust of the place is obvious because he struts halfway across the floor and then decides that the bar and its drinks are unworthy of him, and he slots into the booth opposite me, sitting stiff as a dick on Dole Day. He's so upright that he won't even let his back touch the leather of the booth, and his ass barely even touches the seat. Now then, he goes, lacing these short fingers with nicely clipped fingernails. I'd forgotten how neat his face is, his perfect jaw, his clean skin, his freckles, laid out all symmetrical, plus those neat pink ginger Maori lips. We have a missing individual. And I understand, Carl, you're wanting me to clean up the mess. Nah, bro, it's me that's going to help you. Is that a fact? He says. Have a beer, brother, fuck's sake. I don't drink much, let alone when it's the start of the workday. But you just clocked off. But it's 8:11 a.m, Karl. He wafts smoke out of his face. I take a big slurp and a big suck on my ciggy. I know what's going on with your career, little dick. Don't you bloody say. Okay, Richard. I know where you're up to with your policing career, snitchy Richie. Rich actually laughs, tipping his head away for a moment, I guess to avoid catching some feelings for his old mate. What's that nitrous oxide glowy thing that you get when you feel dope about the past? Nos algebra or whatever? You think you know, Karl. That's always been your thing. You go through life taking stabs and guesses and risks, seizing things, grabbing them, pulling them towards you without really pausing to think if you are doing the decent thing or not. The decent thing, just so you know, is to actually ask people if you can take something instead of shoplifting. Oh, are you saying I shoplift now? You think I haven't kept an eye on your arrests? There was January 2nd, 2015, December 8th, 2016, December 6th, 2017, October 31st. Need I continue? Admit it, you missed my entertaining ass, Richie, didn't you, you fag? I push my beer glass forward. Not that he has a glass to clink with. I'm not sure about this spying on the working class thing, though, Rich. You're working class now, Karl? You don't have to work to be working class. As for spying, that's not the word I'd use, but I keep abreast of active offenders, yes. Well, shouldn't you focus on real crims? I am focused on a real crim. I loll at that and I get up, go to the bar, grab myself 2 beers. Fruity one for my fruity friend and a real man beer for me. The floor tilts a bit, maybe we're at sea and I've forgotten. I'm tipsy enough about having my old buddy here with me to hiss as I walk past Mr. 1%er, red and white, black scorpion throat in his corner booth for no particular reason. He's old and ugly, he's grizzled, his hair all stubbly silver, which I reckon is reason enough. The dude's rolled the sleeves of his hoodie up to let his thick, old, bacon-coloured arms stick out and show off his tats of wheels with a median strip going between the wheels. It looks like percentage, you know, the little percentage sign, which means he's a nomad. It takes a certain type of dude to go 1% nomad. Dangerous, as it is, to be a hang-around or a gopher or a prospect for any club, nomads are a different breed. Nomad status is for ancient veteran blokes that have dipped a toe in so many rival clubs that rules say they're not allowed to call for backup when shit gets heavy. And this means nomads have to be seriously fucking hard. I bring back the beers across the floor of the ship. Richie says that he doesn't want one. You think they have spirulina? He goes, straining his neck to try and read the chalkboard menu. I'm just about to answer his dumb question about fucking spirulina when he winks at me. Not a smile, just the wink. The man's got amazing teeth. They're a shade of white that I only seen on women's teeth in fashion mags. Old Firecrotch here doesn't smoke, doesn't drink coffee, and flosses instead of brushing. I should know, because we were flatmates back in the day. He started preparing for police college when we were still sharing a toilet when we were like 18. And then he started getting good grades and passing fitness challenges in record time, and pretty soon his new mates were elbowing him like, "Hey, ain't your flatmate got a criminal record? You went to school with him, eh? And he turned out a crim? You can't flat with someone like that, Rich." Not the carefree Karl dwells on that stuff. I can give you 5 minutes regarding Barbara Konstantinou, says my cop friend, as my eyes try to get a good picture of him. The damn beer has got me all sleepy. Better known as Barbie. Karl, you're the only one that calls her that. Fuck off, it was just me. Sacred Heart Yearbook 2010. That was the name they printed, remember? Because she'd dyed her hair light bulb blonde to look less, Greekular and shit. We had some big belly laughs about that, remember? We switched her photo with a picky of a Barbie doll cut out of that Kmart catalogue, remember? Remember when you had a sense of humour, Rich? Shut up for a second. So, okay, granted, she's not been heard from in 19 days. That's established. Family's concerns were first brought to our department's attention 5 days ago. The CIB is aware. Are you listening? 23 days missing, Rich, if you count the days that people thought they saw her in that fucking cruise casino up in the bay. No, it's 19, and don't go contradicting me again. 19 days. Now, this is all public information. If you have come here in the hope I will give you something that we haven't given the larger media, forget about it. I may as well hand in my hat today. Hand it to me, I go, winking at the man. Do you know how much police hats fetch in the fucking black market? I know how much Police Association magazine might be worth to someone dumb enough to steal it, in the belief that it contains classified intel, which it doesn't. Slide it over. Attaboy. I don't know what you're talking... fuck it. I reach inside my pants. I pull the mag out, try to uncrinkle it, and shake the smell of my nutsack off it. Oh, sorry, it's a bit... You might want to pull off that pube just there. It got snagged. You saw that homeless guy stick it down my pants? Police see everything, Rich tells me. I do a big nod and I swallow some beer and I light my seventh to last smoke, one of the special smokes that I keep in my pack. Security camera spotted me? I spotted you! Richie smacks at my illegal cigarette smoke as it curls through the air. I'm extremely observant, Karl. Yeah, well, observe this, mate. I stick my middle finger up at its perfect face. How many fingers? He reaches across, grabs the finger, puts a knee on the tabletop, uses the leverage from my strong middle finger to pull himself across the tabletop, ends up kneeling on my lap, his forehead pressed against mine. I can smell the Listerine on his tongue, and then all I smell is arse as he presses my face into a cushion. My arm is twisted into a Pringle shape and I'm about to wet myself. Oh, God, man, I shouldn't have had all them beers just now. Stop, fuck's sakes, brother, stop. With that, he lets go of my finger and my arm. Bruzzer. Can't believe he's calling me bruzzer. We used to call each other bruz 24/7 when we were 10 years old. We thought organised crime was cool as, and all fantasising and role-playing was about defeating cops or sticking evidence up our butts where they would never find it. Fuck are you two chums up to? Yeah, bum chums more like. It's the big, ugly, scorpion-throated nomad arriving at our table to step us out. Up close, I can see patches of what I thought was receding hair has been deliberately shaven. There is a silver mullet like a dead possum crawling down the back of his neck, as if that makes up for the white fuzz on his actual skull. His temples have had the hair stripped back, and on the shiny pink skin he's had red devil horns inked. My dick shrivels and I drop all resistance to Richie as I feel his grip lighten. Richie is in cop mode, watching our new friend. I thought Mr. Nomad was a dark boy at first, and now it's obvious he's a wood-skinned white man. Blue eyes covered in lines like cracked windscreens. Want me to sort this cunt out for you? We're fine, Richie goes. You're drunk, mate. You think you want trouble, but you don't. I am in charge. You ain't in charge, I go, putting the sole of my shoe against little Richie's ass. It's a shitty tennis shoe that I've been meaning to chuck for how many years? Pretty sure I owned these shoes back when I flat up with Richie, actually. Pigs ain't welcome in here. Nomad goes, you saw the sign. Yeah, cheers for letting us know, Whāngarei. Fuck me in my mouth. I can't believe I said that. Richie arches his drowning eyebrows like, you don't actually think you can say that without repercussions. And I see his fingers tickling his hips. He must be looking for his walkie-talkie, but all the guy's got is his cell phone. Calling the cunt Womad's a pretty sick disc, because, Womad's like a soft cock festival for Peruvian panpipes and reading poems about your periods and shit. Gambling addicts and alkies in the corners turn on their stools to watch the ruckus begin to boil. Nomad's beer glass is down around his waist. It is sinking lower. There's only a trickle left, and he's tipping the dregs of his beer out and positioning his body to hit someone with it. It's obvious Richie doesn't lurk in dodgy pubs too much and can't see a glass incoming, but I see it. A Nomad has aimed his glass at yours truly. I watch it, slow-mo. The beer glass, empty of liquid, pure weaponry, is suddenly up at the air, and it doesn't matter if it dents Richie's skull or not, because the tea-skinned, pink-eyed silverback is grabbing Richie's collar as the fight kicks off. And considering the guy's gut and the muscle around his man-boobs, he's got to weigh twice as much as Rich. He's bent Richie backwards over the table and his thumbs are pressed into Richie's eyes. Too bad for this guy, he's let his beer glass go. I'm being squished into the booth by 200 kgs of fighting men, biting their own lips and tongue, blood mixing with their spit. A stench cloud rises up off the Nomad's body, reeking of rotting socks, and my legs are bent up into my stomach because I barely moved Richie away, but I've got vantage, and I pick up Nomad's beer glass with the thick solid bottom and bang Nomad as hard as I can above his left ear, aiming for the guy's crown. Oh shit. There is now a hunk of skin with a devil horn stuck to the base of the glass. He gives Richie a final shove and then touches his head. There's white shit exposed, skull and that mashed white fat that you get when you rip someone's skin off. 2 splotches of blood land on my bare mat, all pretty heavy for first thing on a weekday, when I just wanted me some breakfast brewskis with the homie. Richie stands up, while Nomad's touching himself, amazed that one collision could have torn off a whole postage stamp of skin. Richie reaches between the guy's legs and tips him upside down. Richie works like a busy little ant, hopping over Nomad's pants and boots and avoiding the guy's fists and knees and folding Nomad's arms like he's trying to cram one last sweater inside a stuffed suitcase. There are 3 people standing in front of the bar, drinks slanted, shocked, watching us. "Where's your cuffs?" I yell, while Richie works out the optimal way to get his arms around the guy that he's folded up. "Police property must remain within police premises. What about your vest? Just help me, Carl, would you?" "Sir, I am arresting you for common assault. I need your name." Richie handles him like he's shearing a sheep. The great white nomad is wincing each time his forehead touches the dirty, dented wooden floor, weeping blood. He can't free his arms, and his legs are no good. Richie keeps sweeping them away to keep the guy off balance. Already a chip is mashed in his eye, and there are hairs sticking to his snotty nose, hairs which don't belong to him. Richie tells me all I have to do is hold his fingers against his shoulder blades by kneeling on his bent arms and pinching the palms of his hands. I test the pressure. The big guy squeals. This shit's amazing. How many fights have I been in when I could have used some Israel Adesanya shit like this? You will be escorted to Whāngarei police station, where I will remand you in police custody until your appearance in a court of law on a charge of assaulting an officer. Get up, Carl. You can get off him now. I don't want to let the bucking bronco go, but I inch away. Richie can take him down if he attacks us again. In 10 seconds, I've exerted my ass more than I usually would in a month, with 4 or 5 beers on top of the exercise. Don't you want to phone for backup? Do I look like I need backup? We haul him out and across the road, one arm under each of Nomad's arms, take the side door into the police station, one I've come out of a few times after nights in the drunk tank but never entered. I feel like a detective after a bust. I feel important. We got the perp. As we're handing the heavy gangster over to the Indian cop and the girl cop, Richie asks his staff for handcuffs and turns to me and says, "Hands in front, please." Nice one, bros. Just put your hands out like this. The fuck, bros? Carlos Copley, I am arresting you for theft. One of the constables holds the door open, swings me into a holding cell of concrete which has only 20% of its white paint remaining between 100 years of scratched tags, weed leaves, swazies, lightning bolts, black power fists. Kilroy's there too, and he's saying, "Welcome back, Cockroach." Each tag has got to have been scratched with somebody's Prince Albert, because they take everything from your body and they leave you in a t-shirt and undies with a blanket as thin as a tortilla. A cock piercing's about the only thing that you can sneak into the cells. The hell, dude, you're arresting me over that stupid-ass police mag. What's that worth, $3? How the hell are you going to get Barbie back without me? Come on, man. Who's your bros? There are 418 staff serving in this region who I call brother, Richie goes, closing the heavy door on me. And you, my friend, are not one of them.